Okay, so get this. Today's deep dive is taking us into the world of ASRS.
ASRS.
Yeah, automated storage and retrieval systems.
Allah.
Honestly, I thought I had a handle on this stuff, but the more I dug into that Wikipedia article you sent, the more I realized how much I don't know.
Heck, it's kind of funny, right? Like this tech is everywhere behind the scenes, but most of us never really think about it.
Totally. I mean, I order something online and boom, it shows up at my door like magic, but there's this whole other world making that happen.
Exactly. And that's where ASRS comes in. It's basically a super efficient robotic dance of, well, stuff. Like a giant organized ballet, but for pallets of goods instead of dancers.
Okay, that's a way better visual than what I had in my head. I was picturing like a chaotic, oversized vending machine.
I get it. But the whole point is to get away from chaos. ASRS is all about precision. Think computer-controlled cranes, robotic shuttles, all moving with incredible accuracy.
So why go through all that trouble? Why is everyone so gung-ho about ASRS?
Efficiency. Plain and simple. Imagine you're running a huge warehouse, limited space, tons of products, and customers who want their stuff, like yesterday. ASRS is the key.
So it's like the ultimate solution for, well, our obsession with stuff.
In a nutshell, the article even mentioned a pretty interesting example, the Defense Visual Information Center. They use ASRS to store all their old film canisters.
Wait, really? Film canisters, not exactly what comes to mind when I think high-tech automation.
I know, right? But it makes sense. You've got these delicate film reels, tons of them, that need to be preserved and accessed easily. ASRS is perfect for that.
Okay, now I'm starting to see how this goes way beyond just warehouses full of the latest gadgets. But the article also mentioned that there are different types of ASRS, right? It's not one size fits all.
Exactly. You've got your fixed aisle systems, which are the most common. Basically, cranes on fixed tracks picture a super efficient game of Tetris, but with robotic cranes moving the blocks.
And I'm guessing this Tetris system is what you want if you need to cram as much stuff as possible into a space.
Bingo. But if speed is your priority, then you're looking at carousel systems. Think of a massive rotating carousel, but instead of horses, it's lined with shelves of products.
Oh, okay, so it's like those spinning shoe racks, but supersized?
Pretty much. Super efficient for picking and packing orders quickly. And then there's the vertical lift module, the VLM.
VLM. Okay, what's that one all about?
Imagine a high-rise building for your inventory trays, moving up and down a shaft to retrieve items. A mini ASRS tower for tighter spaces.
Gotcha. So basically, businesses can mix and match to create the perfect system for them.
Exactly. It's all about customization. But you know what's really interesting? The article also mentioned these man-aboard systems.
Man-aboard. Okay, that sounds kind of intense. What is that? Like a human riding along with the robot?
Basically, the operator actually rides with the ASRS unit, navigating through the warehouse and picking or placing items at different levels.
So it's not just about replacing people with robots. It's about finding the best way for them to work together.
Exactly. Sometimes you need that human touch, that dexterity, problem-solving, adaptability that robots just can't replicate. Man-aboard systems bridge that gap.
That's pretty cool, actually. Okay, but you mentioned earlier that ASRS isn't just for warehouses, and this article had a really surprising example. Libraries.
I know, right? Libraries. It seems kind of out there, but when you think about it, it makes sense. They've got massive collections, fragile materials, limited space, all challenges that ASRS can tackle.
So instead of students wandering through stacks of books, they've got robots fetching them. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's happening. The University of Nevada, Reno actually uses an ASRS for their library. Pretty wild, huh?
Honestly, when I first heard about a library using ASRS, I was like, wait, what? I always pictured this tech in these massive industrial settings.
Right.
It really makes you wonder what other unexpected places could benefit from this kind of efficiency.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, think about hospitals managing medical supplies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or museums, storing and preserving all those artifacts. Heck, even restaurants could use it for ingredients. The possibilities are huge.
Okay, but let's shift gears for a sec. We've talked about the different types of ASRS, but the article also mentioned how this tech is evolving, especially with robotics and AI. It's not just about moving stuff around anymore.
Definitely not. We're talking next-level stuff here. Think robots with limbs, sensors they can recognize and handle all sorts of objects, delicate stuff, irregular shapes, even hazardous materials.
Okay, now that's both impressive and a little bit, I don't know, unnerving. Robots that can basically handle anything.
I get it. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. But for industries that need to handle more than just boxes, it's a game changer.
That makes sense. But how does AI fit into all of this?
It's the brains behind the brawn, basically. AI algorithms analyze tons of data so these robots can learn, adapt, make decisions on the fly, even anticipate what's needed next.
So it's not just efficiency, it's intelligence built into the system.
Exactly. They can adapt to changing inventory levels,
Yeah.
optimize space as they go, even spot problems before they happen.
Pretty impressive.
But there's another side of this we haven't touched on yet, the economic impact.
Right. The article mentioned reduced labor costs as a benefit, but it didn't really get into what that means for actual workers.
Yeah, it's tricky. On the one hand, ASRS takes over tasks that are repetitive, dangerous, or really physically demanding for humans. So you get increased efficiency, fewer injuries, lower costs for businesses.
But on the other hand, there's the whole issue of jobs being replaced. What happens to those workers?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Like any major tech shift, there will be changes in the job market. But instead of freaking out, we need to be proactive.
So focus on retraining, teaching people new skills for this new world.
Exactly. Invest in education, training programs, give people the tools to thrive. Technical skills, of course, programming, robotics, that kind of thing. But also critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability. Those are crucial too.
It's like, instead of just giving someone a fish, we teach them to fish. But in this case, we're teaching them to build the fishing rods of the future.
Huh. I like that. It's about empowerment, right?
Yeah.
Helping people succeed in a world that's constantly changing. And it's not just about new jobs. It's about making existing ones better.
I mean, like less physically demanding, safer, maybe even more engaging because of the technology.
Exactly. Let the robots handle the boring, dangerous stuff. Humans can focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, actual human interaction.
It's that whole idea of cobotics, robots, and humans as teammates, each playing to their strengths.
Exactly. Which brings up another cool thing about ASRS that people often overlook: sustainability.
Wait, really? How does ASRS tie into being more environmentally friendly?
Think about it. ASRS makes most of warehouse space, right? So you can store more in a smaller area, which means fewer massive warehouses. That means less land use, fewer building materials, less energy consumption.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And it's not just the warehouses themselves, is it? If ASRS streamlines logistics and shipping, then you've got fewer trucks on the road too, right?
You got it. Optimize routes, shorten distances, and boom, you've significantly reduced fuel consumption and emissions. With all the focus on sustainability these days, that's a major win for ASRS.
It's kind of wild how something that started in warehouses to make things run smoother can have such a ripple effect, touching everything from jobs to the environment.
It just shows how interconnected everything is, Innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's about different fields coming together in unexpected ways.
It's like the butterfly effect, but instead of a butterfly flapping its wings, we have robots moving pallets, and the impact is felt globally.
Exactly. And as this technology keeps evolving, who knows how far those ripples will spread.
It's amazing how we started with this Wikipedia article about ASRS, and now we're talking about like the butterfly effect and global impact. It's clear that this tech is way more than just, moving boxes around.
It really is. It gets you thinking, right? If ASRS can revolutionize how we handle physical stuff, what about the digital world? Could we apply those same principles to data?
You mean like a giant robotic library for data? Whoa! With the amount of information out there these days, that's a pretty mind-blowing concept. It's like we're drowning in data.
Exactly. What if we could bring that ASRS speed, precision, and efficiency to how we store, access, and manage all that data? Think about the possibilities for research, data analysis, even creative fields like music and film. It could be revolutionary.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Are we talking about like a physical version of the cloud? But instead of books, these robots are fetching bits of data.
Kind of. Imagine massive data centers, rows and rows of servers, all managed by this incredibly sophisticated ASRS-like system. But instead of retrieving objects, it's pinpointing and retrieving specific pieces of data instantly.
So you're saying no more endless scrolling, no more trying a million different search terms and getting a million useless results. Just boom, the exact information you need right at your fingertips.
Exactly. Researchers spend so much time just sifting through data. This would be a game changer. And imagine what it could mean for preserving history. We could create these vast, secure digital archives, making sure that books, films, music, all of it is safe and accessible forever.
It's incredible how something designed for warehouses could have such a huge impact. blurring the lines between the physical and digital.
It really speaks to human ingenuity, don't you think? Taking an idea, refining it, adapting it to solve new problems. And that's what I love about these deep dives.
Me too. We start with something that seems pretty straightforward, like ASRS, and we end up down this rabbit hole of mind-blowing possibilities. It just goes to show innovation often happens in the most unexpected ways, and it's up to us to, connect the dots and see where it takes us.
Well said. It's all about curiosity, that willingness to explore the unknown, to see beyond what's right in front of us.
And hey, maybe one of our listeners will be the one to develop that first ASRS for data. If you do, give us a shout. We'd love to have you on the show. But until then, keep those questions coming and keep exploring.